Okay, you've read the title. Today we're talking about underrated horror TV shows, ones you haven't heard of, or I just don't think get enough praise. Today I have a little bit of something for everybody, very unique picks, very dark and disturbing picks, and of course, a light and fluffy one. If you do find these videos helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's begin. Channel Zero is an often overlooked horror anthology series, with 4 seasons all surrounding different stories and entities, all based on creepypastas. Season 1, which is called Candle Cove, was a fan favorite. It follows a child psychologist who returns to his hometown to find links between his brother's disappearance and a bizarre children's TV show from the 80s. The season is based on a popular creepypasta written by Chris Straub in the 70s. Fans praised the show for its adaptation of the story and unique entities, leaving them genuinely unsettled. Season 2 was No End House, and this is the story of 4 friends who visit a haunted mansion only to find themselves trapped in rooms confronting their own deepest personal fears. Season 3 is Butcher's Block, and this one follows Alice and her sister who move to a new city that is haunted by mysterious disappearances. And of course, season 4, The Dream Door, is about a newlywed couple who discover a door in their basement which unlocks the darkest parts of their relationship. If you're not going to watch any other season, just watch Candle Cove. It is definitely worth your time. It's more raw around the edges and does such a good job at bringing this creepypasta to life. Have you seen Channel Zero? Which season was your favorite? French TV show Marianne is one of the darkest series on Netflix. I am not joking. It immerses the viewers in a deeply disturbing narrative infused with dread and psychological trauma. The story revolves around Emma, who is a highly successful young author, and she becomes disturbed after a strange visit to a book signing and realizes that the characters she is writing about may actually exist in the real world. This terrifying journey of self-discovery forces Emma to travel to her origins and confront the darkest aspects of herself and her past. Despite its unfortunate cancellation, Netflix loves to do this one is still a great standalone season. Although things are left a little bit open, it's definitely worth a watch, and let me tell you, this one is creepy as hell and really graphic at times too. Marianne remains one of the most captivating and underrated series on Netflix, and it's well worth watching if you're a horror fan and, of course, if you have the stomach for it. Again, this one is on Netflix in most countries. Okay, talking about dark, I think this is as dark as you can get. Huge content warning for this one. If you're sensitive to any topics, please look up the content warning. Actually, I'll leave it down in the description pinned. Fun fact, people were outraged when this series did not originally have a content warning. I think Netflix has added one on. And if you've watched it, you will know why. Ju-on Origins is based on the Ju-on franchise, and it premiered on Netflix in 2020, and it just blew everyone away. I can't believe that this is on Netflix. The show follows the investigation into a string of horrifying incidents that all took place, you guessed it, inside a house. We explore the dark and violent history of a home that will be forever imprinted by the terrors that took place inside its walls. It acts as a prequel leading up to the original Ju-on movies. I was absolutely hooked from the start of this show. It opens up to someone watching a tape, and the narrator describes that Ju-on was based on true events. From here, we see a paranormal investigator on television working with an actress, talking about their personal connection to the supernatural, and it's just a jaw-dropping ride as we go on. The overall atmosphere is just creepy and dark and cold, and there's just nothing like it. It did a really good job, and it was praised for adding to the franchise without disrupting it. How often can you say a TV show has elevated a franchise instead of hindering it? I know there's one or two, but this one is a great example of that. If you're looking for a show that has high impact, this is it. It's disturbing, it's scary, it's dark, and it's fast-paced with only 6 episodes, and most of the episodes run for only 30 minutes. So if you want bang for your buck, this one is bound to leave you disturbed. If you're looking to binge something to get nightmares, this one is kind of guaranteed. If you're looking for something totally different to anything you've seen before, Calls on Apple Plus is a must watch. I don't know why, but no one talks about this show, and it is fantastic. It's one of the most unique storytelling formats I've ever seen, inheriting elements from suspenseful radio dramas but transforming it into a modern TV show. Calls presents a sequence of phone conversations accompanied by minimal on-screen graphics. These graphics include dots and names to represent individuals, waveforms to depict voices, and running captions for dialogue. The visuals almost work as a hypnotic 2000 screensaver, allowing the terror to rely on what isn't seen and what is inferred, which I love. I love when movies and TV shows do this. This does it in the best way possible, letting the viewer, or really the listeners, imaginations run wild. And the simplicity of the presentation is deliberate. Sometimes it feels like you're in a trance, hanging on to every word you hear. The series consists of 9 episodes, each ranging from only 15 minutes to 20 minutes long, and they each focus on, of course, calls. They're all different calls to different mystery people that lead to a bigger picture. You can definitely watch all of these in one sitting, and honestly, I think that was the way it was intended. And the cast is also impressive, with voices from Mark Duplass, Aubrey Plaza, Nick Jonas, and Pedro Pascal. Each episode serves as a standalone story that gradually unravels a larger narrative. It's well worth a watch, and I promise you'll be hooked. Okay, it is a little bit too dark on this list, so let's throw in one light-hearted one, and don't worry, it is still horror. If you're a fan of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost films with the vibe of Shaun of the Dead and The World's End, you'll want to check out Truth Seekers. The show premiered in 2000 and had a quiet reception because of the pandemic. It's a little slower than Pegg and Frost's other work, but trades in that for a satisfying, yet I say almost wholesome storyline. It's an easygoing show with a lot of heart and laughs. We follow Gus, a technician for Smile, which is a broadband startup company, and he's ordered to take Elton John, no, not that Elton John, it's a long story, watch the show, under his wing. But upon doing so, he unlocks a lifelong dream of becoming a paranormal investigator. Elton John is just his good luck charm. He's attempted to do this many years, but somehow with this new sidekick, it just works. The show also stars Emma Darcy and Malcolm McDowell. It's again an easy watch with 9 episodes clocking in at only 30 minutes each, and it's just a supernatural fun adventure with some addictive, charismatic characters. If you're looking for something easygoing but still on the spooky side, this is a perfect Sunday afternoon choice. It's also available on Amazon Prime in most countries, which is a bonus. Okay, now it's your turn, friends. You all always have such good recommendations, so let me know down in the comments below what your favorite underrated TV show is, one that you think people haven't heard of. I wanted to include so many, but I think that we've all heard the same list over and over again, and I'm just excited to hear something new. So drop in your recommendations down below, and thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you do want to support what I do, head over to my Patreon. It's always linked in my description box. Stay safe and stay spooky, friends. Bye.